everyone, welcome back to another sew along. We will be sewing my newest Know Me pattern for fall 2025. This is ME2138. So this is a sweatsuit set. It is a sweatshirt and a pair of sweatpants. Let me see if we can get a closer look here. So the cool thing about this is the sweatshirt has these style lines, kind of mimics kind of like a corset, and then the sweatpants also have style lines. There's a side panel, and then there's a built-in side pocket in that panel. It also has an elastic waist with a drawstring. And then to take it one step farther, I really thought it would be cool to include instructions for how to add in like piping or lace of any kind of trim you want along all those style lines to really highlight them. So for this sew along, we will be sewing view B, which are the sweatpants. And of course, I will go over every step of the construction, as well as all the steps you need to insert your trim into those style lines, whether it's piping, lace, whatever it is you're going to use. So I'm really excited, so let's get started. Okay, so let's take a look at the pattern envelope. It does come in two different size ranges, 4 through 12, as well as 14 through 22. Like I said, there are two views. View A is the sweatshirt, view B is the sweatpants. Now taking a look back here, so for the suggested fabrics, it says double knit, fleece, French terry, ponte, sweatshirt, fleece, etc. And then contrast for the sweatshirt, it should be a rib knit. That is recommended. For the sample pieces, I did use a rib knit trim. For the sample I'm going to be making in this sew along, I actually do not have a matching rib knit, so I'm going to be using the self fabric, which you can also do, but it is recommended for rib knit. So when you see that contrast here, that's what that means. Okay, and for notions, you will need piping or elastic ruffle trim for both the sweatshirt and the sweatpants. We'll go over that in a second. You'll also need 1/2 inch twill tape or ribbon for the drawstring, and a 1/2 inch elastic for that waistband. Okay, so let's talk about some of the trims you can use. So for this sample for the cover, I used this piping. This is actually a stretch piping. You can use like a regular non-stretch piping if you want, especially if you're using a more stable knit like a French terry or something that doesn't have a lot of stretch. A regular piping should be good, but I use this stretch piping. You can usually find it in like the lingerie trims. For the sew along, I'm going to be using this Pico elastic, which is basically just an elastic with a fancy lace edge, also often used in lingerie. And then here is another Pico elastic. This one just has a smaller lace edge. You could also use a ruffle, whether you make your own ruffle or buy a ruffle trim. Another cute option would be like a little mini pom-pom trim like this. That could be cute. So there are a lot of different things that you can use for this. Really make it your own. I also want to talk about an option if you don't want to insert the trim. I think it would be really cute to color block. That's another option with all the different panels. You could also just do nothing. You can just sew the seams with no trim all in one color and just let those seam lines speak for themselves for a really subtle detail. That also could be cute. I think I'm going to do that for a fall sweatshirt soon. For the pants pattern pieces, you have your front, which is pattern piece 10, your back, which is pattern piece 13, your side, front, and side back. This is the panel. That is piece 12, but you also have another piece here, it's piece 11, that is the side, front, and pocket. So 11 and 12 are attached together for the panel. And then lastly, you have the casing waistband pattern piece. This is not cut in the contrasting rib knit fabric. This is the same fabric as the rest of your sweatpants. And of course, you also have piece 15, which is just the elastic guide. Okay, and to start the construction for the sweatpants, we are going to work with the side panel. So we need pieces 11 and 12. We're going to take one of each, and with right sides together, you are going to do the top edge where the double notch is. Line those up. Right sides together, match up the double notch, the large dot and the small dot, and sew 5/8 of an inch from the raw edge. Next, you will want to open that up, press the pocket facing and the seam allowance upwards, press that good, and then understitch close to the seam on the pocket facing, close to the edge. Once that is understitched, then you can go ahead and fold the pocket down to the inside like this. Give that a good press at the top here. We want to fold along this fold line here on the pattern, which I have marked here. So fold up like such. The notches should match up, as well as the dots, the small dots. Give that a good press and pin. And then just baste stitch along that pocket edge here on both sides, 5/8 of an inch. And just repeat the same process with the other panel, and that creates your pocket. Okay, next we are going to apply our trim, our piping, our lace, whatever you're using for trim. We are going to apply it to the long edges on both sides, from top all the way to the bottom. So the first step in doing that is to mark your seam allowances. So this is 5/8 seam allowance. You can either do it with, like I did here, with a fabric marking tool, or you can also use a basting stitch. Once you have your seam allowance marked, you can go ahead and lay your trim down so that the part where you want to stitch lines up right over top of your marked seam allowance. So with this lace trim that I'm using, I want to sew right where the lace trim meets I want to sew right where the lace meets the elastic. If you're using piping, you will want to sew right up against that rounded part of the piping. So once that is all lined up with the seam allowance, I'm going to pin it all in place, and then I am going to go to my machine and straight stitch right over top of that seam allowance, right where I want that trim to be. And I'm going to do that on both sides. If you are sewing a piping, you will want to use either a piping foot or an invisible zipper foot. But since I am sewing a flat lace, that doesn't really matter, so I am using my regular foot. But just note that if you are sewing in a piping as your trim, you need to use the appropriate foot. Okay, so I've lined up my seam allowance here, the trim with the seam allowance, and I am just going to slowly stitch it on. So my trim is on all the way to the bottom. Now we are going to attach the front and back pants to each of the side panel. Now there are notches to indicate, there's a double notch to indicate the back, so make sure you're attaching the back to the right side and the front to the right side. So with right side together, then I'm going to start with the front. I'm just going to lay it down, line up those raw edges, match up all the notches and dots, and sew 5/8 of an inch from the top to the bottom. And I forgot to mention, you will actually want to flip over and sew from the side of the side panel, so that you can use your previous stitching from the trim as your sewing guide. Open it up and then do the same thing for the back pant. Right sides together. Actually, again, I'm going to flip it over so it's this side. Right sides together, line up the raw edge, match up all the notches and dots, and stitch that together. Once both the front and back are attached, just press the seams away from the side panel. See here, press them away from the side panel. And then you can just fold the pant leg right side together. And we are going to sew the inner leg here. So fold right side together, line up this raw edge of this inner leg, and sew 5/8 of an inch. Inner leg is sewn. You can now repeat all those steps with the other pant leg. Okay, so you have both pant legs finished. Keep one inside out and turn the other one right side out. And then take that one that is right side out and put it inside the other so that right sides are together. Line up the inner leg seam. Line up all the notches. Then you're going to sew that seam starting from the front all the way around to the back. Once that is sewn, that seam, you can turn them right side out. Now let's move on to the waistband. For the waistband, make sure you have marked all the notches, small dots over here, and on the front only, so only on one piece, make sure you mark your buttonholes on the right side of the fabric. And then you are going to take two small squares of interfacing, place them on the wrong side of the fabric, right over where those buttonholes are, and use your iron to apply that. Now go ahead and sew your buttonholes over your markings and make sure to cut them open when you're done. Now place both waistband pieces together with the right sides together, and you are going to sew the two short ends. So on one end you'll sew along the entire short end, and the other end over here you will leave it open between the two small dots. So sew here and then here, leaving this open. After you've stitched the short ends, just press those seams open and then fold the waistband in half with the wrong side together to create the loop. You can see here where you left open between the dots, that'll be for your elastic. Have your pants with the right side facing out, and then take your waistband and you're going to start putting it down along your pants. So for the front, you want the buttonholes to be face down against the pants. Start lining up the notches, center front of the waistband with center front. There are notches here that can get lined up. The side seam of the waistband, there should be a notch on the pants to line up with that. Okay, and then go ahead and stitch 5/8 of an inch all the way around that waistband. Press your waistband up with the seam allowance pressed down. It is also a good time to put in a tag if you like to do that. And then using the stitching guidelines, they're on the pattern piece, so 2 rows of stitching using a straight stitch all the way around that waistband. These will create the 3 channels for your elastic. Cut 3 strips of 1/2 inch elastic using the elastic guide. I had to use 2 different colors here, just what was in my stash. And then you can use a bodkin, a safety pin, whatever you like to use to thread elastic. And you're going to thread it using that opening you left here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the bottom. First row of elastic is in. I'm just holding it together temporarily with a safety pin. And now I'm going to do the other 2 rows. All 3 rows are in. You can take this opportunity now to try it on and see what the best fit is. And once you have the elastic, the length that you want them, you can just for each one overlap the ends slightly and stitch together to hold them in place. Once those are in, you can just use a needle and thread to hand stitch that opening closed. For the drawstring, you'll be going through the buttonholes in the front, so just attach a safety pin to the end of your drawstring. Go through one buttonhole, keep moving around till you come out the other one. There, drawstring is in. Now we just need to do the hem. The hem on the pants is super simple. The hem allowance is 1 1/4. 1 1/4 around the entire pant leg and stitch that in place. You don't have to turn under a second time because these knits that you're using will not unravel. You can of course finish the raw edge first if you would like before you stitch it down. But 1 1/4 inch, press under and stitch. One final good steam press to reduce any of that waviness. There's your hem, and your sweatpants are done.